Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next edition of CTS BizTalk. I'm your usual host, Frank Stevens. Today, we have a special guest, Simon Jakubczak. Simon is our IT service delivery manager at CTS. So essentially, he's responsible for the entire tech team, managing that team, all the processes on the back end, and also our data center. So welcome, Simon.
Thanks for having me, Frank. You always do a really good job of introducing me and stealing my thunder. But yes, I'm the service delivery manager for CTS. I've been with the company for coming on 6 years now, worked my way up as a level one tech, level two, level three, and now I oversee the whole tech team.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. So today's topic is the ease of IT onboarding. And this is something that we hear about all the time. We get introduced to a client, potential client, and basically they say, we hate our IT company. They suck. The response stinks. And we're just not happy, but we're afraid to change. And I get it. Just knowing all of our different clients and all the different verticals, and we've heard it before. People are afraid of changing. They don't want to change their bank. They never want to change their accountants. And sometimes they just don't want to change their IT companies. And there's a fear of how difficult it'll be and how to get over all those humps. So that's why I brought Simon on board for this call. He does this all the time. He's typically onboarding 2 to 3 new clients for CTS on a monthly basis. So he's busy from an onboarding perspective. And so I want to bring him in, and he's got this thing down to a science. So Simon, why don't you just share with us what that onboarding looks like and how we get engaged with clients that sign up to be with a better service provider like us?
Yeah, so onboarding clients can seem like a pretty daunting task, but it really isn't. We've got a little packet that we can send out to our clients with some key pieces of information. For the most part, what that looks like is keys to the kingdom is the phrase that we use. So we're looking at getting access to DNS to manage DNS records. To manage the website, so credentials to the registrar, administrative credentials to the domain, to O365. So once we get those credentials, that gets us about 90% of the way there. Most of our team has familiarity with the different technologies that a number of our clients are using, and it's shared technology across the space,
Mhm.
across the different industries, across the different verticals. So once we have those credentials, like I said, it gets us about 90% of the way there. For the most part, when we are dealing with these transitions, I want to say like 98% of them, if not almost 100% of these transitions, go pretty smoothly. We don't The MSPs in the industry, the IT companies in the industry aren't happy that they're losing a client, but it's just the nature of the beast. It's part of the business. So once we're getting these credentials, or once we get these credentials, we receive them, we verify that we have the access that we need, and if we don't, that's when we engage the outgoing IT company for some further information. We also reach out to on-site individuals, the employees of those clients, and see what other issues that they're experiencing, so we know ahead of time what we're walking into. We ask for documentation that may have been created by the current IT company, or little tidbits of information that the employees are experiencing. There's the network maps that we also take a look at, that provides a pretty nice insight for our some of our manufacturing organizations who might have a few different locations for network drops, or a few switches located in the warehouse that some people might not know about. So it's really just getting keys to the kingdom and then taking a little deeper dive into what we're walking into.
Got it. How long does an onboarding take where we initiate the request for all that information and they're fully onboarded with CTS?
So it really depends on the complexity of the network, the complexity of the client, and the size of them. Typically, we see about 2 weeks to get them fully onboarded, but it could be as little as a few days. If we're just taking over an O365 environment, we just ask for a global administrator account to be created. They hand it over to us. We agree on a cutover date, and that's that. Otherwise, we spend some time doing research, checking out the infrastructure, checking out the network, make sure what we're being told is actually true, and then asking any questions. So I'd say average is about 2 weeks, but it goes up to a month.
Got it. And during that whole time frame, we talked about the effort from the client perspective. So once they do an introduction between us and the new IT managed service provider, how much are they involved? Because that's the biggest concern that I've heard. I don't have time for this. It's either, hey, I'm in the middle of a tax season, or it's, hey, we're doing end of year financials, or whatever it may be. How much effort is really involved in the client perspective?
It's pretty minimal. Whoever has the keys to the kingdom, whether it's a document, an Excel spreadsheet, IT glue account, whatever it is, they kind of hand it over to us, and that's when we take over and make sure that we have all the access that we need to. We don't usually get the clients involved unless we need to. For instance, password isn't correct.
Mhm.
Maybe there's two-factor authentication involved on some of the accounts we're trying to sign into. That's when we would get them involved, but it's very minimal once the introductions are made.
Have you ever had a situation where the outgoing IT company refused to give stuff?
I personally haven't, and I've been with CTS almost 6 years. I think prior to me joining the team, you may have experienced one or two situations like that. But like I said earlier, it's not a good feeling to lose a client, but at the
Mhm.
end of the day, you don't want to leave a bad taste in the client's mouth. You don't want to burn any bridges. So those credentials are usually given up pretty easily.
Cool. And then from the end user perspective, so basically, typically our point of contact is either president, CFO, or office manager, and then you've got all the employees or subcontractors of an organization. Let's talk about the packet that you give them and what that looks like, so that they know how easy that transition is for them.
Yeah, most recently we just had a meeting like this a few weeks ago where one of our clients didn't really understand what we do for them, how to reach out to us, what to expect from us in terms of response times and whatnot. So we created what's called our new client manual that we share out to the points of contacts, and we do advise the points of contact to share those out to all the employees. But the document really just entails how to reach out to us, via the ticket system, sending us an email to the ticket system, or calling our 1-800 number. And then it lists out the different priority ticket priorities. If it's a password reset for one person, that can be a medium priority. But if it's a network outage, they can submit it as critical. And we've got the different workflows in our ticket system that triggers different actions, different notifications. Multiple people will be looking at those issues.
Awesome. Any other insights or anything like that when we're myself or Mike on our team, or anybody who's working with potential clients, and they have this uneasy feeling of making that switch, because that is a big leap of faith, and I totally get that. Any other comments or thoughts on that you want to share with potential clients who are thinking about joining the good guys, is what I like to say?
Good guys, yeah,
The
definitely the
good
good guys
guys.
here at CTS. It might seem like a daunting task, but I think one thing that CTS does really well is the communication. Your experience and and the way that you perceive us as a team really gets made in the first few interactions you have with our team. So we will be communicating, we will be over communicating. You will always hear from us, whether it's through the ticket system, through phone calls, through meetings. We're here for you guys, so you're in good hands when you partner with CTS.
That's a good rah rah. I love it. Thank you. So I think that covers our main topic. Is there anything you want to talk about that you're seeing, that's new, upcoming, that you've got your ears to the grindstone, that clients are coming to you with concerns, or anything else like that? Something cool to share from a tech perspective?
um yeah, a lot of people are hearing about the cybersecurity attacks, ransomware attacks, just the different risk mitigations strategy. that's out there. And for the most part, people think that it's okay to just slap down some sort of antivirus, whether it's your McAfee or Malwarebytes or whatever free antivirus you can find, even Microsoft Defender that comes pre-installed on the computer. Um, we're finding out that that's not good enough. I say that a little, tongue in cheek, but there y- you always have to be doing more because it's your job to run your business, but on the flip side, the bad actors, it's their job to get into your systems. So what we're seeing is that these signature based detection systems are doing okay, but they're being circumvented 100%. We're seeing a lot of these attacks being stopped, but not all of them, and that's the point that we're trying to get to, is getting from 60% to 95%. And to do that, you basically have to have what's called correlation of the events on all attack vectors. So you can see, Susie's account has been signed into, 100 times in the last minute. That's kind of weird,
Mhm.
versus the 3 times that she maybe mistyped a character in her password, coupled with finally getting access to a remote computer from some obscure IP address outside of the country. So now you've got 2 events that are pretty weird. Someone should be really taking a look at that. And then coupled with 24-hour surveillance, you take all 3 pieces of information together, see what's going on, and then you're determining that something really fishy is going on, and you've got a security team putting a stop to that.
That seems like a lot.
It is a lot, but that's why you partner with a company like CTS, who's got that
Yeah.
cybersecurity background and the partnerships, and you see that we're doing this 24/7 monitoring. We're not just slapping down an agent and calling it good.
Correct. Yeah, if you're not proactive today, you're a sitting duck essentially.
Right.
And I heard this from somebody a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, that the technology and cyber protection that you had in place either a year ago or even 6 months ago, it's not adequate. So we're getting into this thing where, like you said, those bad actors, they have no reason to ease up. They have it's a huge plus side for them to keep going at it, and they become smarter, and they're using tools out there like social media hacking, and they're going to town trying to infiltrate organizations just to get a couple nuggets of information that they can either use for ransom, extortion, or whatever it may be. And it's not going to stop. And one thing that you and I think learned a couple months ago, that there are, what was it? It was ransomware as a service.
Ransomware as a service, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you tell the fans here what this is? Because this blew my mind. I'm like, wow, okay then.
Yeah, so what most people are familiar with software as a service. You're getting access to AutoCAD, O365, Dropbox, whatever it is. You're paying a monthly subscription to have access to a certain piece of software. So what's happening is now you can do that with ransomware. You can hire a group for a monthly basis, and whether it's targeted attacks or a wide net of attack vectors, you're paying a group on a monthly basis to hit clients, and then in return you get either information, compensation, Bitcoin, whatever it is. But yeah, you're paying for a service for bad actors to attack clients and crypto lock them. It's pretty crazy stuff
Amazing.
out there.
So now the bad actors, it was they attack 100 companies, what have you. They maybe hit one, and then they have their payday. But now they've got a reoccurring revenue model, and they're making a lot of money. And yeah, pretty interesting. So cool.
Yeah, a lot of prevalent attacks out there.
Yeah, scary stuff. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for Simon for joining us. Hopefully you had a great time. I believe this is his first big video online. I know he's an online gamer, but this is like big time now. So thanks, and I appreciate your time, Simon.
Thanks for having me. Yep, first time on YouTube, so we'll see how this goes. Looking
All
forward to
right,
having more conversations with you in the future.
absolutely. All right, hey everyone, make sure to like, subscribe, and share out, and we appreciate everything. Have a great one. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.